Hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss the C program to display Fibonacci series. So this can be done just by using a simple for loop inside the main function, and we can display the series using this for loop. The same program can also be done using a function and also using a recursion. So in this video, we are going to discuss all of the three programs and we'll see how they are displaying the Fibonacci series and how they are different from each other. Okay, so let's start with the basic one. Here we have used two variables first and second and initialize them with 0 and 1. So as we know that in our Fibonacci series, the series start with 0 and 1, then the next number will be the addition of this first two, that is 0 plus 1 is 1. So from here we need to calculate by adding this previous two. The first two we have already been initialized here in the first variable and in the second variable. Okay, and for the third variable, for the third one to calculate, we have declared another variable and name it as a next. So let's see how this for loop is working is that we'll start the for loop index variable with the C, and we'll repeat the loop until we reach n. N is the number up to what term you want to continue to print your Fibonacci series. So once we come to for loop, first we'll check if the C is equal to or less than 1, then the next one will be automatically 1. Because if uh, if we have entered a value of n is equal to suppose 3, and we not 3, suppose we have entered 3 and we'll start with C equal to 0. So whenever it will come here and it will just simply return next is equal to C. That means C is itself is 0, so it will print that next is C, it is 0. Next time again when our C will become 1, it will again come to here and it will return next equal to 1, next equal to C, that is 1. After that, when our C become 2, that time it will not enter in the if loop, it will come to the else loop. And just a second, let me clear out this. Okay. So after that, when our C become 2, then only it will come to the else part, to the calculation part. Okay, so whenever C is 0 and 1, we are directly assigning the value of C to the next, and that one is directly getting printed in our output stream. So for the C equal to 2, what we are doing is that we are just adding the value of first and second, that is 0 and 1, and we are assigning that one to next. And after that, we are moving our cursor. Suppose this one is first and this one is second, and we have calculated our next is 1. So after this, simply what we are doing is that before that first was pointing here and second was pointing here. After the first iteration, what we need to do, we just need to change the pointer of first to be pointing to the second one and second to be pointing to the next variable. Okay, so just like that, after that in the next step, these two will be calculated and our next variable will get the 1 plus 1 equal to 2. Similar to the previous step, in this case, the first will come here pointing to 1 and second will be pointing to this one. So like this, we will keep on moving our first and second variable and we will calculate our next variable by adding them, and like this will generate our Fibonacci series. So this is the basic concept behind the Fibonacci series display program. So here in this program, this one is done simply through a for loop. Okay, now we'll see how the program can be converted into using a function. So let's see Fibonacci series using a function. So I'll compare both the programs side by side so that you can get a better idea. Okay. So first of all, we have declared our function. This is our function declaration, which is returning nothing. So the data type is void, and it is taking an integer input that will the number of terms here. Here we are reading the value of n. That one only will pass as an our input to the function. Okay. So in our main program, we need to declare only one variable, that is n, and we will read the value of the variable through a scanf statement. Just after that, we'll call our function Fibonacci using the input n. Okay, so this line will take us here into the function body, and the value n will be assigned here in the variable num. So whatever the value of n will be entered in here, suppose it is 5, so you need to print the Fibonacci series till its fifth term. So let's see what are the changes have been done. So see here, the difference between main program is here. You need to declare all the variables inside the main, but in case of function, we have declared only n in the main function. Okay, and this part is very much similar in both the program. Then we directly call the Fibonacci function. Now let's see inside the function what it is happening. All the variables what we have declared inside the main to calculate our Fibonacci series, means whatever all these four variables, that is first, next, second, and C, all are used inside this for loop to generate our Fibonacci series. All those variables are now declared inside your function. First, second, next, and the C. All variables are required inside the function, and they are declared locally inside this function name. Now, after that, the for loop is very much similar. See here, this for loop and this for loop, there is nothing difference is there. Their working mechanism is same. The only difference is here is that this two line, this one, we are using a function, and we will come to the function and we will display the Fibonacci series from inside the function only. Okay, so this is the main difference between Fibonacci series without a function and with a function. Okay, so you need to be careful with the variable declaration, please, and the function call and the function declaration. That is this one. Okay, so I hope this one is clear to you, the difference between Fibonacci series using a function and the basic one. So now let's get back to the third one, that is Fibonacci series using a recursion. Now this one is a little bit different. Okay, so just compare this one with the um, Fibonacci series with the function and recursion. See, from here we have started our main function, and from the inside the main function we need a for loop, and using the for loop we are calling the function. From inside the for loop we are going to call the function. So to explain this program, I will use an explanation table. Okay, this is the explanation table of Fibonacci series using a recursion. Okay, so let's start with the program, what it is doing. So in this program, the Fibonacci function has been declared along with the definition just before the main program. It is at the starting of the program only. Before main, the function is defined. Okay, so but our execution will always start from our main program, main function. So we'll start the discussion from here only. Okay, so what it is doing is that it is declaring 1, 2, 3 variable n, j, and I. And they are used to read the value of how many terms, so how many terms you want to display the series. Okay, that means our loop needs to be, this for loop needs to be repeated till n, and I is a variable used for loop index. So we'll start the loop starting from 1 up to the value of n, and we call our Fibonacci function using the value j. Okay, see here, we are not calling the function using n here. Not unlike your that previous program where we are calling the Fibonacci function using the value n. Here what we are doing, we are using the value of n here to control the loop. Okay, and we are just passing a new variable j inside the Fibonacci function, and the value of j have been initialized with 0. Okay, the value of j have been initialized with 0, that is passed to the function a, function Fibonacci as an input. For I is equal to 1, we will go there. Okay, just a second. Okay. For value of j, and when I equal to 1, this one will take us to the Fibonacci function using value of k is 1. So after that we will come to this function. Okay, so this function, when we will enter this one, the function is saying that if n equal to n means here it will take the value of j here, that is we are having the value 0 here. So this function is saying that if n equal to 0, it will return 0. So from here we are coming back with a 0 here, and from this printf statement the 0 will be getting printed. Okay, 0 will be printed in our output stream. Now what it will do in the next iteration, just a second. Okay, in the next iteration, when our value of I will become 2, and also j will be changing from 0 to 1. So we'll call the function using the value j is equal to 1, and when we come here, it will again change, saying then when n equal to 1, it will return 1. So it will return 1, it will come here and it will print the value 1 in our output screen. In the next iteration, when our value becomes, for I is equal to 2 and j is equal to 1, sorry, for I is equal to 3 and j is equal to 2, it will pass the value of 2 as an input, and it will come here with 2. In that situation, it will enter into this phase, that is, else return Fibonacci of -1 and Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. So to explain this, let me go to the explanation table first. Okay, that is Fibonacci of 0 and Fibonacci of 1 will be directly be printing the values from the from these two statements. Fibonacci of 0 will print 0 and Fibonacci of 1 will be printing 1 to our output screen. But when we come to Fibonacci of 2, that time we will go for recursion. This is the place where recursion is coming into scenario. Okay? Recursion means the function is getting itself called. So the value of n we are having 2 here. So this one will become 2 minus 1 and this will become 2 minus 2. That is Fibonacci of 1 and here Fibonacci of 0. This function, this one will again be called with Fibonacci of 1 and this will again call the Fibonacci of 0. Now let's take you to the explanation table. So see what it is saying, that the explanation table, when I is equal to 0, j is equal to 0, Fibonacci of 0 has been called, it will return 0, output stream will be printing as 0. Okay, but when for I is equal to 2, j is equal to 1, Fibonacci 1 will be called and it will return the value 1. And here, just for simplicity, instead of the complete function name, I have used the short of that one, that is Fibo. Okay. Now, for the third iteration, when our j becomes 2, it will call the function with the input 2. In that situation, the recursion will come into place and we need to call Fibo of minus 2 minus 1, Fibonacci of 2 minus 2, that will result Fibonacci of 1 and Fibonacci of 0. So, in this situation, what we need to do, Fibonacci of 1, that is Fibonacci of 1, when it will become, it will again come back to the function with the input value 1 and will simply return 1. So, in the explanation table, you can easily see Fibonacci of 1 function is giving the output 1. So, you can simply get the output 1 here, and Fibonacci of 0, that is here it is giving the value of 0. So, we are taking directly the value from there. Okay. So, in this step, we are getting 0 plus 1, that is the output will be printed as 1. For the next iteration, when our I equal to 4 and j is equal to 3, the Fibonacci 3 function will be called, and again it will come here. Okay, that is n minus 1, that is 3 minus 1 and 3 minus 2. So 3 minus 1 will become 2, that is Fibonacci of 2 will be called, and just in the previous step we have seen that Fibonacci of 2 will result in 1. So you can directly use that value here, and Fibonacci of 1 is giving also the value 1, that is 1 plus 1 is 2, will be displayed in our output screen. So like this it will continue, and similar to that, when our Fibonacci of 4 will be called, it will become 4 minus 1, that is Fibonacci of 3, and 4 minus 2, Fibonacci of 2. So with the new numbers, it will again go and call back the function, and it will repeat the same process again and again, and you will get your values. And after that, you just need to add them and display the value in your output screen. Okay. So whatever, depending upon the value of n, it will keep on continuing to what term you want to display your Fibonacci series. So this is the process of recursion with the new value. With the new value, the same function will call. Okay, once again it will calculate, it will again come here. Again with the new value, it will going to call itself until and unless it will reach to either this statement or this statement, then it will stop doing it. Okay. So I hope this one is clear to you. Fibonacci series printing using simply for loop and using function and using a recursion. So we'll stop there.